Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back at it again with another analysis of the free-to-play friendliness of Arknights Endfield. And there's been some additional research done. There's been some additional glue provided by people who have both data mined the release version of the game and also grinded the fuck out of it. And that is the actual number of free-to-play pulls that you're gonna have available in version 1.0 of the game. And this is a very, very, very important metric to keep in mind, because this game has a concept called no pity carryover. You can see that I pulled on this banner about 84 times. When this banner ends in about 10 days, if I don't get this guarantee, this will reset back to, and say 120. That basically means that all 80 plus pulls that I put in will be wasted. So I have to ensure that I actually redeem this pity, or I might as well just uninstall the game. Literally, if that happens, I should uninstall because I bricked my account. And the thing is, when you need 120 limited pulls to do that, you want to know how many actual pulls are in the release version of the game to be able to give like a good analysis, right, of how likely it is that you can actually get a character. Because you want to wait until 120, or you want to ensure that you'll get to 120 before you start pulling, because there's a lot to lose. And if you're in a situation, right, where there's 2 days for the banner and you're on like 5 attempts left to guarantee and you know you're not gonna be able to get the pulls, where do you think you're gonna end up going, bucko? Are you gonna lose 120 pulls, 110 pulls, or are you gonna go spend $5? Are you gonna lose 118, 110 pulls, or go spend $5? Exactly. All right. So that's how these devs get you. And so a good part about being an educated free-to-play player that's not trying to get reamed by the greediest developers, Hypergriff, in the space, they're worse than Hoyoverse, by the way, you want to make sure that you're prepared. And people have gotten those numbers. People have gotten the insight. Because I myself am wondering why I, as a player who is at level 48, who has enough resources to build full endgame gear for all my units. These cost 50 each, by the way, and I have about 2,000 of these components. I full completed the entire main storyline. I've got an established factory for all the endgame gear, and of course, right, I've got most of the stuff ready to go in Wu Ling. I've done all of this. I've done all this progression. I played the game for over 40 hours. Closer to 50, probably. I'm probably ahead of many people that you know, and I am currently, at this moment, without converting my Oreo geometries, I currently am, let's see how many pulls I have. I have 15 pulls right now. That will make it so that I am still 21 pulls away from reaching pity. After all of that progress, I can build a full endgame gear team. Everybody's level 90. I've unlocked the highest exploration level. I can level 90 my team before I can guarantee pity a single time. I can level 90 my team, fully gear everybody in gold gear before I've hit pity a single time. And I've realized why. I've realized why it feels like this game had no honeymoon period. And that's because these devs literally just made it so you don't get any pulls at all without engaging with a fuck ton of permanent content. To the point where you have the, not smack, but you have the biggest dipshits in the space, like Rene, going ahead and saying, you can get 120 pulls in day one free to play.
The number one concern I see...
You can get 120 pulls day one free to play. So let's get into the actual numbers itself, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into the real truth of what's going on and why it feels like you need to play this game like a fucking job. So, first things first, when it comes to reading this chart, you're going to notice there are a bunch of different categories over here when it comes to the number of pulls. You're seeing 208 as kind of like the item over here, 17.5 from mailboxes and, you know, like codes. Then you got 39 from the events. You got 120 fucking 4 from the permanent content. This is the mint picking. This is the mint picking, and it doesn't refresh. That is one of the big concerns so many players have about this game, right? That is why this post over here saying that they're worrying about pull income is one of the most highly upvoted posts in the history of the subreddit, right? That's because all of the pulls in this patch are permanent content. Stuff you only do once takes a fuck ton of time to do, and there's nothing anywhere else. There's literally nothing. 1.2 pulls from the protocol. Brother, this game's BP gives you 1.2 pulls in in the 51-day version. You had to get a microscope to find this. That is how much these developers hate you. Their battle pass gives you the equivalent across the entire update of 1.2 pulls. Then you got the quota exchange. And this is where stuff gets a little bit spicy, right? Because this is the quota exchange, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready for this? That's where you get expiring pulls from the shop. And so naturally, it's a little bit dodgy to put in expiring pulls that reset every banner into this total. Because this will reset for Gilberta, reset for Yvonne, and then when Levy's disappears, they disappear. So why don't we go ahead and take this expiring headhunting permits measure and just make it so that they don't count. Now we're at 178 total pulls for the patch. Now that we've removed the pulls that expire. Because once again, guys, there's also an event that gives out 5 pulls for Levy's banner too. Remember, they're expiring. So let's take those out. Because let's assume you're saving for Gilberta. Great. Now, 124.2 of your 178 limited pulls in the patch are from the permanent content. So, unless you're literally playing this game like a job, mint picking like an actual extraordinaire, ladies and gentlemen, you literally only have 178 minus 124, guys. That is 54 pulls. You don't even have half of the game's pity from non-permanent content. You can't even get to 60 out of 120 out of the game's non-permanent content. This is the worst pull economy, early game balancing, like balancing of pulls I've ever seen a developer do in my fucking life. Guys, I will be able to, like I said before, fully gear units for the end game, all level 90, all skills maxed out. I'll be able to do this before pulling a limited character. And the only reason why I have this unit is because I re-rolled repeatedly to be able to get a 6-star. Otherwise, you are not touching a limited unit in this game unless you are spending over 50 hours in it. I'm sure of it now. With how fucked this pull economy is, you gotta be spending literally 50 plus hours to get a limited. Brother, this might be free. You're paying with your time, dude. You're paying with your time at this point. And I urge players out there, is this what you want for future versions of the game? Where the number of free-to-play chartered headhunts you get per week, you guys want to know how much that is? You get 1.6 pulls a week. You get 1.6 pulls a week. A patch typically lasts 6 weeks in the gacha space. Bro, that's like their recurring pulls, like the login, it's like 10 pulls a patch. 120 pities. We look like there's going to be a free-to-play pull income of like 40 pulls a patch. I think you'll be able to get a character once every 3 versions. That's what this is shaping up to look like over here, because this is the most pathetic shit I've ever seen in my fucking life. Bro, 9.6 pulls from recurring sources.
Oh, but hey, though. But Saint, you're spreading misinfo. Clearly, you're not counting measures that had the incredible hypergrowth developers put. Look at the quota store. Look. Oh, credit store. Look. See, you could get 25 ore barrels daily, randomly by RNG. So, are you counting this in? You misinfo spreader. If you get lucky 50 days in a row. So if you get lucky 20 days in a row, you'll get 1 pull. You get 1/20th of a pull in a day if you're lucky. Why aren't you counting that in, bucko? You're 1/20th of a pull. You're 5% of a pull, huh? Why are you spreading misinfo? And you want to know what the other thing I bet Saint isn't even talking about over here? Brother, obviously, these devs are giving so much when it comes to the weekly mode, bro. Every week, bro, they'll give you 100 tickets. You see that over there? You see that small little 100? That means I already claimed it because it's so good. 100 Arsenal tickets a week. In 20 weeks, you'll get a 10 pull. And you need 8 10 pulls to get the weapon. You just need to wait 20 weeks 8 times. Retard, and you'll get a free weapon. Yeah, just wait 20 weeks 8 times. This game's totally going to still be in service with a system like this. It will totally still be in service with the exact same monetization 160 weeks from now.
I'm joking. This is the worst fucking shit in the genre. And so, when this is what people are seeing, when people feel like they're being nickel and dimed, when the game doesn't feel like it has a honeymoon period, is it that surprising at all that pretty much every single app store, pretty much every single source of reviews, peer reviews when it comes to this game are all saying it's trash, that it's not worth playing, that it has the worst generosity, the greediest devs, the worst pulls they've ever seen in a gacha before? That's because you literally cannot engage with this gacha as a free-to-play unless you're willing to sink in the most disgusting amount of time a gacha has ever asked for before. I don't think this rivals the launch experience of anything. I don't think anything even comes close. And to see a game have its future mortgaged by the most stupid devs I've ever seen is just ridiculous. Because the game actually has so much potential. Do you think I would have made it here? Do you think I would have made it here if I hated the game? Do you think I would have built this entire factory, endgame factory, by myself if I hated the game? You can look this up online. There's no blueprints for this because I made this all by myself. Do you think that I would have done this if I hated the game? No. That's the point. I wouldn't have done this if I hated the game. I think there's potential here. But right now, these developers have decided to, in their attempt to monetize the fuck out of this game and think more like a fucking psychologist instead of an actual developer, they've ruined it. And they've decided to ruin it by basically forcing players, if they want anything in the game, to commit an absurd amount of time to it, creating a sunk cost. Are you going to be likely to quit the game if you've already sunk in 50 hours to get the 120 pulls you need for the character? No, because you're going to think about all the time that you spent. They're basically in fear of people not actually liking the game. They want to make people feel like they've worked, right, to get the things. How about you just trust the fact that the people will like the game? Why do you need to use FOMO, the sunk cost, all of that to influence people to keep playing? How about just make a good fucking game? Because you want to know how much better this game would be if the gacha system wasn't a piece of fucking shit? Bro, to interact with any of the mechanics in this game's combat, you need units. You need a fuck ton of units. A unit like this, with nobody that applies Solidify, is the most trash shit in the game. She's legitimately garbage, but then becomes amazing if you have a character that can leverage her abilities. Because she only responds to someone who does solidification. She doesn't have it in their kit. And you want to know the main way to apply solidification? With characters from the gacha. With characters from the gacha. But if you can never pull, you just never are able to use half the units you get. And that's what makes the gacha such a haunting mechanic in this game. You're told,
Never pull until you're at 120 so you don't waste anything. Oh yeah, by the way, to get to 120, you gotta play 50 hours of the game.
so literally, the response to free-to-plays is,
Just play the game for 50 hours with nobody. Play one team the whole time, bro.
the only statuses you will interact with will be Crush and Vulnerable, and maybe a bit of Electrify. Just go play only those for 50 hours. These people hear this retarded advice coming from retarded CCs, and then they leave ratings like this on the App Store because they have no fun. Guys, I'll probably make a video on this, but it's a case study between the Genshin release roster and whatever the fuck is going on in Enfield. In Genshin, you got Mona, or you got Lisa, Electro, Kaya, Cryo, Amber, Pyro, Traveler, Anemo. You got all these units. And guess what you can do with the units you got for free? Do pretty much every reaction in the game. You can pretty much do every elemental reaction in Genshin at the start of the game. You can just do them. Or you get Barbara too. Fuck it, right? In this game, you can't access any of the reactions unless other characters are there who synergize. So Genshin literally lets you use almost every reaction the second you start the game. You have characters that are literally locked off. This character is gacha locked. She's gacha locked. And that sucks. Because you can't actually use the fucking units you have. And this game actually gives out no 4 stars for fucking free. Like, why is this guy not given out for free? He's in the story. Like, there are so many units that should have been given out for free because they're in the story, but they're not. It's just ridiculous. I think it's just ridiculous at this point. And I'm just hoping more and more people wake up. More and more people start having like a bit of a realization. I think everyone already has at this point. The devs have made it so painful to play this game. I genuinely think that they grossly overestimated how confident people were to spend, and they thought they could literally just starve the player base into like crumbling and just like pulling on the gacha like crazy and buying in the store like crazy. But I don't think that's happening. I think people are just leaving a review saying this is a piece of trash because they don't get anything and it doesn't feel like an actual game. It feels like a fucking exercise by psychologists on how badly they can fuck people. And this enough should be alone to tell you. In the release version of the game, they've decided that unless you're going to play the game like a job, you only get 54 pulls. That is the truth of this. Unless you play this game and sink 60, 50, 40, however many hours it takes to get the pulls, you don't get enough to even get half to pity. Unless you sink that many hours, you won't even get to half pity, bro. It's less than 60. Less than 60 pulls unless you play the game literally like a job. Now I see why. I'm at the end game. I can build level 90 units. I can build gold gear on everybody. I can grind. I'm farming for the end game, and I still am not even close to a guarantee. Still not even close. But hey, fuck it. Maybe we'll just get her here. Yeah, maybe we'll just get her here. We'll throw her in here. And editor, add this to the pull video as well because we're doing this over days because it takes... Guys, this is going to be the first pull video I've made for a game where the pulls take place across 3 or 4 fucking days. Because you don't get anything in this game. You don't get anything in this game. Let's just see it. Fuck it. I hope I lost 50-50, bro. I hope I lost it, bro. Hey, I hope I lost it, bro. If I won, I'm fucked. If I won 50-50, I'm fucked. I hope I lost, bro. Bro, I hope I lost. I'm so cooked if I didn't. Oh, thank God. Thank you. Holy shit. I just get a free 6-star now. Oh my God, I'm saved. Holy fuck. Bro, this game literally rewards you for losing 50-50. This game, you want to lose 50-50 sometimes because it's like the gacha system is so bad. Bro, I'm so happy right now. Holy shit. Now I can just demonstrate to you why it's so cooked, man. Bro, now look, because I lost 50-50, look at this. I get the 2K Arsenal tickets. Now I only need 26 more pulls and she's guaranteed. 2 6-stars in 30 pulls when I was only going to get 1. And I get those 2K Arsenal tickets too. I'm fast tracking my way to the next weapon. Bro, I get the 6-star and I get the 2K tickets. And if I won the 50-50, I get none of those. Don't you love how this system is designed? If I won the 50-50 there, I get none of those. 2 tickets, 2K tickets, gone. A 10 pull on the weapon banner. See ya. See ya later, bro. Not happening, right? Oh, man. What a massive W on that 50-50 loss. This is a game where players celebrate losing the 50-50 because the gacha system is so convoluted. You want to know what would have happened if I won there? Let me show you what would have happened if I won there. Let me show you why I'm celebrating so much at losing a 50-50. I'll show you from the man himself. We got Michael Tashed over here getting his anus destroyed by Hypergriff. Watch this.
3 of them on one.
Tashed before this pull. Sorry, guys. This guy stalls. This guy stalls like crazy. He's at 21 attempts to guarantee before this 10 pull. Right? Clearly, he wants to lose. If he wins the 50-50 here, it's actually not good.
This is soft pick.
Right? And obviously, he wins.
Cool.
He gets Surtur.
I'm
But if he didn't, he'd be at like 9 out of 120. But instead, that whole 120 pity reset. I am the opposite of Tashed. I am the opposite of Tashed here. I lost my 50-50. I lost it. And so now, I've only got 26 left until the guarantee. So I just have way more shit than he does. And let's just get what his reaction is to seeing that his pity reset.
Oh my God, that is so cringe. I actually got punished for that. Because instead of getting some other unit and then going like a couple more pulls and getting her,
He's also missing the fact you get 2K tickets for that too. So he missed out on the extra unit and 2K tickets. A 10 pull on the weapon.
My pity's reset. The guarantee's gone. Like it's actually punishment because I got unlucky for so long.
Yep. And you can see over here, that's why I'm so happy, guys. The literal opposite is what occurred over here. But when your gacha system is literally at the point where you're celebrating losing a 50-50 because of how badly it's designed, maybe that's why the game has such an awful rating on the App Store. But you'll still have people on their hands and knees telling you that this system isn't the reason why people don't like it. There will still be people trying to convince you that this system isn't the reason for why people hate the game. People like the game. People like the game, they hate the gacha, and that alone is enough to give it a 2.6 rating. And hopefully the demonstration we've had for you today, the fact that I'm celebrating losing a 50-50, I'm celebrating, bro. I'm literally on top of the world because I lost. I'm literally so happy I fucking lost, bro. You don't even know. That's the gacha experience in this game. Let me know what you all thought. Peace out.